The Thracians were not initially organized as a single unified kingdom, but rather lived in a network of tribal communities scattered across the Balkan region. Each tribe maintained its autonomy, governed by its chieftains and rooted deeply in shared cultural practices. However, the lack of central authority meant the Thracians were vulnerable to external threats and internal conflict. This fragmentation defined much of their early history and shaped their interactions with neighboring civilizations. These tribes, including the Odrysians, Getae, Bessi, and others, shared common linguistic and cultural traits, but often found themselves at odds. Rivalries over territory and resources occasionally led to skirmishes, preventing large-scale unification. Despite this, these tribes demonstrated remarkable adaptability, surviving in a region that frequently found itself in the path of ambitious empires such as Persia and Macedonia. The Thracian tribes were distinguished by their warrior culture. Each tribe had its elite fighters, who were highly skilled in both horseback and infantry tactics. Their martial prowess made them sought-after mercenaries in the armies of larger states. This warrior ethos, though a point of pride, also perpetuated divisions as tribes prioritized their independence over collaboration. At the heart of Thracian society was a strong connection to nature and spirituality. Tribal leaders often claimed divine favor, tying their authority to the Thracians' deeply held beliefs. These spiritual leaders acted as both political and religious figures, emphasizing the sacredness of their tribal lands and the distinctiveness of their identity. This fusion of spirituality and governance was a cornerstone of Thracian tribal life. The rise of the Odrysian kingdom marked a turning point in Thracian history. Under the leadership of Thraci in the early 5th century BCE, the Odrysians began to consolidate power by uniting various Thracian tribes under their rule. Thrace was a visionary leader who recognized the need for unity in the face of growing external pressures from Persia and Greece. By combining diplomacy with military might, he laid the foundation for the first centralized Thracian kingdom. Thrace implemented policies that promoted unity among the tribes. He established alliances through marriage and treaties, ensuring that rivalries were mitigated and resources pooled for mutual benefit. This approach allowed the Odrysians to expand their influence beyond their core territory in the Rhodope Mountains, eventually controlling large portions of Thrace. Economically, the Odrysian kingdom flourished under Thrace and his successors. The kingdom became a hub for trade, capitalizing on its strategic location between the Aegean, Black Sea, and Danube regions. Thracian goods, such as gold, silver, and wine, became highly sought after, strengthening the kingdom's economy and solidifying its importance in the ancient world. The Odrysian kingdom also emphasized cultural development. The arts, religion, and social structures of the Thracians began to reflect the kingdom's newfound stability and prosperity. Temples dedicated to Thracian deities and monumental tombs for kings and nobles became prominent symbols of the kingdom's power and sophistication, showcasing the blend of traditional and innovative practices that defined the Odrysian era. The kings of the Odrysian kingdom, including Thracian kingdom, including Sitalkes and Soothes XIII, played crucial roles in governing their diverse realm. Unlike earlier tribal chieftains, these kings had to manage a complex political system that balanced the autonomy of tribal leaders with the demands of a centralized state. Their success in this endeavor was pivotal in maintaining the kingdom's stability and cohesion. Sitalk, the son of Thraci, was particularly notable for his administrative and military reforms. He expanded the kingdom's borders through successful campaigns against neighboring tribes and established diplomatic relations with powerful Greek city-states such as Athens. His reign highlighted the potential of Thracian kings to engage in statecraft and international politics, elevating the status of the Odrysian kingdom in the ancient world. Governance in the Odrysian kingdom relied on a combination of traditional Thracian practices and adaptations of foreign systems. While tribal leaders retained a degree of autonomy, the king acted as the supreme authority, overseeing military campaigns, taxation, and justice. This blend of local traditions and centralized power allowed the kingdom to function efficiently while respecting the distinct identities of its constituent tribes. The Thracian kings also fostered cultural and religious unity. They often acted as high priests, performing rituals that reinforced their divine right to rule. This connection to the gods legitimized their authority and strengthened their position as leaders. By embracing both secular and spiritual roles, the kings of the Odrysian kingdom ensured their rule was accepted by a wide spectrum of their subjects. Under Sitalkes, the Odrysian kingdom reached the height of its territorial expansion. His campaigns brought much of the Balkan Peninsula under Thracian control, extending the kingdom's influence from the Danube River in the north to the Aegean Sea in the south. This expansion not only increased the kingdom's wealth, but also its strategic importance in the ancient world. Sitalkes' expansionist policies were motivated by both practical and ideological considerations. The unification of Thracian tribes under a single ruler reduced internal conflicts and made the kingdom a formidable regional power. Additionally, by controlling key trade routes, the Odrysian kingdom secured access to resources and markets, further enhancing its prosperity. The expansion of the Odrysian kingdom brought it into contact with powerful neighbors, including the Macedonians and the Greeks. These interactions were not always peaceful, as the kingdom's growing power often threatened the interests of its neighbors. However, the Thracians also engaged in diplomacy, forging alliances and participating in trade networks that connected them to the wider ancient world. Despite the challenges of managing such a vast and diverse territory, the Odrysian kings succeeded in maintaining their kingdom's unity. Their ability to balance expansion with internal stability set a precedent for future Thracian rulers and demonstrated the potential of the Thracians to function as a cohesive and influential force in the ancient world. The unification of Thrace under the Odrysian kingdom was an impressive achievement, but maintaining this unity was an ongoing challenge. The tribal nature of Thracian society meant that local leaders often resisted centralized authority. These leaders, accustomed to governing independently, occasionally rebelled or withheld resources from the central administration, testing the king's ability to enforce their rule. External pressures compounded these internal challenges. Thrace's strategic location and abundance of resources made it a target for powerful neighbors such as Macedonia and Persia. These empires sought to exert influence over the region, either through direct conquest or by exploiting divisions among the Thracian tribes. The Odrysian kings had to navigate a complex political landscape, balancing diplomacy with military action to safeguard their kingdom's sovereignty. Economic disparities also created tensions within the kingdom. While trade brought wealth to the royal court and urban centers, many rural communities saw little benefit from these developments. This economic inequality sometimes fueled discontent among the populace, especially in remote areas that felt neglected by the central administration. Addressing these grievances required careful governance and the redistribution of resources. Despite these difficulties, the Odrysian kings demonstrated remarkable resilience. By fostering loyalty through cultural and religious initiatives, they managed to sustain a sense of unity among their diverse subjects. Their ability to adapt to changing circumstances and address internal conflicts ensured the kingdom's survival during turbulent times, solidifying its place as a significant power in the ancient Balkans. The Odrys kingdom's relations with its powerful southern neighbors, Macedonia and the Greek city-states, were both complex and dynamic. The Thracians frequently found themselves caught between these competing powers, alternately serving as allies, rivals, and mercenaries. These interactions had a profound impact on the kingdom's political and cultural development. One of the most notable episodes in Thracian-Macedonian relations occurred during the reign of Sitalkes. Initially, the Odrysians allied with Athens against Macedonia during the Peloponnesian War, providing crucial military support to the Athenian cause. However, this alliance was short-lived, as shifting political priorities and changing leadership altered the balance of power in the region. Macedonian kings, particularly Philip II and Alexander the Great, viewed Thrace as both a threat and an opportunity. Philip's campaigns into Thrace were aimed at subjugating the region and securing its resources for his expanding empire. The Thracians resisted fiercely, but the superior organization and military strength of the Macedonians eventually brought parts of Thrace under Macedonian control, altering the balance of power in the Balkans. Culturally, Thrace's proximity to Greece facilitated the exchange of ideas and practices. Greek influence is evident in Thracian art, architecture, and religion, as seen in the adoption of Hellenistic styles in royal tombs and sculptures. However, the Thracians also retained their distinct identity, blending Greek elements with their own traditions to create a unique cultural synthesis. The decline of the Odrysian kingdom was a gradual process driven by both internal and external factors. Internally, the kingdom struggled to maintain unity as successive kings faced growing resistance from tribal leaders and local chieftains. These divisions weakened the central administration and made it increasingly difficult to enforce the king's authority across the kingdom's vast territory. Externally, the rise of Macedonia under Philip II and Alexander the Great dealt a significant blow to the Odrysian kingdom's power. Macedonian campaigns into Thrace reduced the kingdom's territorial control and subjected it to Macedonian influence. Although the Thracians resisted fiercely, their fragmented political structure left them vulnerable to the organized and well-equipped Macedonian forces. The advent of Roman expansion further eroded the Odrysian kingdom's sovereignty. By the 2nd century BCE, the Romans had begun to assert their dominance over the Balkans, incorporating Thrace into their sphere of influence. The Odrysian kingdom became a client state, losing much of its autonomy and gradually being absorbed into the Roman Empire. Despite its decline, the legacy of the Odrysian kingdom endured. Its achievements in uniting the Thracian tribes, fostering economic prosperity, and engaging in the cultural exchange with neighboring civilizations left a lasting imprint on the history of Thrace. The kingdom's story serves as a testament to the resilience and adaptability of the Thracian people in the face of changing historical circumstances. The unification of Thrace under the Odrysian kingdom represents one of the most remarkable chapters in Thracian history. Despite the challenges of tribal fragmentation, external pressures, and internal divisions, the kingdom succeeded in creating a model of governance that balanced central authority with local autonomy. This achievement demonstrated the potential for unity among the Thracian people, even in the face of adversity. The cultural contributions of the Odrysian kingdom remain a significant part of Thrace's legacy, from the monumental tombs of Thracian kings to the blending of Thracian and Hellenistic artistic styles. The kingdom left behind a rich heritage that continues to captivate historians and archaeologists. These cultural artifacts provide valuable insights into the values, beliefs, and daily lives of the ancient Thracians. The political legacy of the Odrysian kingdom also resonates in the broader history of the Balkans. Its efforts to unify the Thracian tribes laid the groundwork for future attempts at regional cohesion, even as subsequent empires and states sought to dominate the region. The story of the Odrysians serves as an enduring symbol of the strength and resilience of the Thracian people. Today, the memory of the Odrysian kingdom continues to inspire interest and admiration. Its story is not only a testament to the achievements of the ancient Thracians, but also a reminder of the importance of unity, cultural pride, and resilience in the face of challenges. As one of the most prominent examples of Thracian statecraft, the Odrysian kingdom occupies a unique and celebrated place in the history of the ancient world.